Welcome everybody. So for today, have a couple of pillows. They can be from your bed, your couch, maybe you prefer towels. And if you have blocks, have them nearby. We'll use the softer props for our honey portion of class later. We're going to begin by kidney tapping. So if you bring your hands to the back low portion of your rib basket, around right there, it's not in exactly the same place for everybody, but around right there is where your kidneys live. They live very deep in the body, but we're just going to start stimulating and sort of tapping. I do it quite firmly. You might even be able to hear my hands landing on the back body. You can make kind of loose little fists for yourself. I just kind of tap my thumb to my pointer fingers so that the inner edges of my hands are tapping into the kidneys. If this is new to you, you can start off really soft, but it feels quite good, and again, stimulating to let the taps be quite firm. And then as you do that, I like to keep the rest of my body kind of fluid and buoyant. It might feel nice to soften in the neck and just let the head bow, chin to chest. Some of you might prefer doing this in the forward fold. That really opens up the windows to the kidneys and allows a little bit more direct access. And we're just going to do this for about another half minute or so. If you really want to get a little bit warm as you're doing this, it might become hops. I also like to take big exhales out of the mouth. No right or wrong way to do it. Just sort of storing in your muscle memory and your mind's memory where this kidney band resides. And you'll take just about 10 more seconds. Maybe you make the tapping a little firmer. And then slow it down, soften the tapping. And you'll just let your arms hang down with gravity. Take a breath here and send the breath directly from your nasal passages diagonally back and down to your kidneys and inflate them. And then you'll exhale softly. Do that again, breathing in, inflate the kidneys, dilate them wide, and exhale softly. And now imagine that the breath to the kidneys is what lifts your arms. So the kidneys will wing out to the sides and up just as the arms go out to the sides and up. And then you'll interlace the hands overhead, comfortable interlacing. Take a Venus lock so your pointer finger and thumb are extended as you go up. And then you'll side bend over to your right. Bend your left knee and take a big breath into your left kidney. You might round your spine a little bit, turning your heart to the floor. Take 2 more breaths like this. Reach your wrists away from your left kidney on the diagonal. Each inhale puffing up, dilating your left kidney. And then at the bottom of this exhale, you'll just come to stand tall, relax the arms. And then breathing in as the wings of the kidneys widen, so do the arms. They go out and up. And you'll take the opposite interlacing overhead. Venus lock the fingers, breathing in as you go up first, and then on the exhale, side bending up and over to the left. Bend your right knee, so you're putting a lot of weight in the right foot, and reach your wrists away from you. Take a big inhale diagonally to your right kidney, puff it up, and exhale when you have 2 more breaths like this. And 1 more, relax the face, puffing up the right kidney. At the bottom of this exhale, come to stand tall, and then you'll float your arms, your hands together, I should say, right at the center of the chest. Softly close the eyes, or you could keep your gaze downwards. Feel your feet underneath you and try to breathe directly to the kidneys. So we'll start off with an Om. As we begin with the Om, imagine the kidneys are sort of tingling with the vibrations of the Om. Maybe even that tingling is expanding outwards into the air and the space around you. One Om to start breathing. Soften the front neck as you bow the head for a moment. Release the arms. And then meet me at the back edge of your mat. Have your feet about hip width distance apart. Inflate the kidneys as you breathe in, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, interlace the hands, Venus lock, and you'll side bend over to the right. Bend your left knee, take a big breath into the left kidney, and then continue the spiral all the way down to the floor in a forward fold. Start with your right hand and try to stay up high on your fingertips as long as you can, walking the hands forward into plank. Some of you might stay on the fingertips in plank. Pause here for a breath. Push the balls of the feet back on your mat, and then you'll eventually come down onto the palms if you're not already. Without moving the body, try to bring your left arm alongside the left body, but nothing else moves. There might be a little movement, but try to keep it tiny. Then you'll swivel the heels to your right. Take a breath into the left kidney to sweep your left arm up and overhead. Good. Pause here and press the inner edge of the left foot down into the mat a little bit more, and see if that helps you integrate the muscles of the left arm bone into the bone itself. Good. Now slowly turn back towards your plank and lower your left elbow in line with your right palm. Reach your right arm alongside the right body without shifting too much to the left. Press your outer right hip to your right arm, and then swivel your heels to the left. You'll breathe in and sweep the right arm overhead. Pause here. Press the floor away with your feet and with your left forearm. Good. Send the breath into the left lung. One more. And then very slowly you'll turn towards a forearm plank pose. Take an inhale. Lower your knees way forward and down. You might roll over the toes to do so. And then you'll come back to child's pose. Walk your elbow tips forward as you prayer your hands together behind the neck. Okay, and then press your fingertips together, especially the pinky side of the hand. And then maybe you crawl the elbows a little bit further forward as the hips sit back on the heels. One more breath. Push the floor away with your elbows, hollowing out the armpits. Okay, now interlace the hands, the comfortable interlacing, and press the outer edges of the hands into the mat. So this cue I got from Patty Townsend, who is going to be teaching more at Kula, but I love this cue. Imagine that your lungs are pitchers filled with water. Now as you tuck your toes and lift into dolphin, lift the hips up so high that the water pours straight down out of the tops of your lungs down into the floor. Push the floor away with your forearms and try to lift way high onto the balls of the feet. You can always bend the knees, but try to send the sit bones up, pour more water out of the lungs, right down through the floorboards. Take one more breath, push through the forearms, maybe your head elevates a little more away from the mat. Okay, and then slowly you'll lower your knees back forward onto the mat. And then as you exhale, let go of the interlacing of the hands. Press your palms into the mat. Breathe in, come to hands and knees, all fours. Exhale, back into downward facing dog. Again, sort of pouring the water out of the pitchers of the lungs. Slowly begin with your right hand. Try to go high on your fingertips as long as you can. And we'll meet back in a forward fold at the back edge of your mat. keep your head, spine, and trunk like a rag doll, no effort, but reach your right arm up to the ceiling. And then imagine someone's pulling your right wrist up and the rest of the body sort of reluctantly comes along for the ride all the way up to stand. And now reach your right arm back behind you and go for a wide open twist. So don't keep your hips square. Feel how the weight shifts in your feet. Your left hip might go towards the front edge of your mat and revolve as much as you can. You might even roll onto the outer edge of your right foot. Take one more breath, reach the wrists wide, and then you'll exhale, come back center. Second side, breathing in, sweep the arms out and up. You'll interlace the opposite crossing. Venus lock the hands as you exhale, up and over, side bend to the left. Bend your right knee, take an inhale to your right kidney, and then spiral the body all the way down to a forward fold as you exhale. Leading with the left hand, high on the fingertips as long as you can. Walk slowly forward to a plank pose. Pause here in plank. Eventually lowering the palms down if they're lifted. Try to shift as little as possible as you bring your right arm alongside the right body. Right outer hip presses into right forearm. Spin your heels to the left and then reach your right arm up and overhead as you breathe in. A couple breaths to stay here. Good. Magnetize your right side of the face up towards your right arm a little bit more. And the next time you breathe in, turn back towards your plank, lower your right elbow and line with your left palm. Okay, and then try to keep your left hip point square to the floor as you sweep your left arm alongside the left body. Spin the heels to the right. Your inhale sweeps the left arm up and overhead. Pausing a breath. Scissor your legs together well. Slowly come to forearm plank, elbows in line with one another. Draw your knees forward and down. And then you'll come back to child's pose. Walk your elbow tips forward, prayer the hands behind the neck. Maybe you press your palms. For me, it feels better just to press fingertips. Just one more breath. Reaching through the elbows, pressing them down. Then you'll take the opposite interlacing of the hands. Lungs like pitchers filled with water. Tilt your hips up high, pour the water to the floor in dolphin. Good. Push down more through your forearms. And then without moving your elbows, pull them energetically apart. That makes me feel a little broader in my shoulder blades, a little more length in my neck. Good. One more breath. Try to tilt the hips up higher. Good. And then this time, walk your feet back just an inch or two and bend your knees to hover. Let go of the interlacing of the hands. Knees are really bent. And then as you breathe in, lift your elbows off the floor, straighten your arms. You'll be in a hovering tabletop. Come back into downward facing dog as you exhale. Start with the left hand. Walk high on your fingertips all the way back to your forward fold. Ragdoll the spine, the neck, the head as you reach your left wrist up. And then as though someone's pulling your left wrist up, everything else stays soft until you come up to stand. And then you'll reach the left arm back, right arm forward and twist. And really exaggerate the twist. Let your right hip go beyond your left and turn. Turn the eye of the heart to see the left palm. And maybe you're rolling in an awkward way on the feet. One more breath, get really tall. And you'll exhale, turn back center. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Interlace the hands, Venus lock. Exhale, up and over, side bend to the right. Bend your left knee and take an inhale to the left kidney. Exhale, spiral all the way down, forward fold. Start with the right hand high on the fingertips as you breathe in all the way forward to plank, palms down. Left arm by the left side as you inhale. Swivel the heels to the right, exhale. Sweep the left arm overhead, breathe in. Exhale, come back towards plank, lower the left elbow in line with the right palm. Breathe in, right arm alongside the body. A slow exhale just to swivel the heels left. And then inhale to sweep the right arm overhead. Exhale, lower your right elbow in line with the left. Instead of walking the feet forward, sort of army crawl your forearms back a couple of inches and come into your dolphin pose, lifting the hips up high. Lift your right leg up and back behind you. Imagine there's a string tied from the ball of your right foot, your right big toe, to your left heel. As you lift your right big toe higher, the left heel lifts higher. Good. Push down through your forearms. Try to pour a little more water out of the lungs. Hips high. Okay, now bend your knee to hover on the mat. Push into your hands and straighten the elbows. You'll come back into three-legged down dog on your inhale. Right big toe high. Exhale, step your right foot to the right palm. Bend both of your knees in a high lunge variation as you breathe in. Stay a couple breaths. Wrap your outer right hip back. Tilt your belly and heart upwards. And then use the ball of your left foot to spring forward. Hug your left knee to your chest at the top of the mat. Come to tree pose. Left foot anywhere it lands on the right leg. Interlace your hands, same side, Venus lock the fingers. Go up as you breathe in and press the leg, right leg into the left foot like you're plugging a plug into a socket. As you do, you energize up taller through the spine. Put a little bend in your right knee, hinge at your hips, and fold halfway forward. Good, and then lower your arms. Maybe your fingertips in this Venus lock position just barely touch the floor. Try to keep them hovering. You'll step your left foot all the way back and come into a warrior two position. Just float the arms out and up to the sides. Press through your feet well. 3 breaths in warrior two. One more. On an inhalation, slowly straighten your right leg without snapping the knee and sweep the right arm up and over in a peaceful triangle. Imagine this right hand has the Venus lock of the left hand and reach your wrists away from you. Take a big breath into your left kidney. Continue the spiral, so you're going to reach towards the back edge of your mat, through Prasarita, back into a low lunge to the right foot. Breathe in, tap the back knee, tilt the heart up, and exhale, straighten through your right leg and fold. Twice more like that. Breathe in. Exhale, straighten. Inhale. Exhale. Bend your right knee, breathe in. Exhale, come through plank pose. Lower the knees down and come to child's pose. Sweep the arms back behind you and then reach your right arm up towards the ceiling, just the right arm. Imagine someone's pulling your right wrist. The rest of the body is like a rag doll, chin to chest. As you segment the spine, come all the way up. The right wrist is pulling up, up, up towards the ceiling. And then lift up a little bit higher at the top and reach your right arm back behind you like you're doing that twist. Plant your right fingertips way behind your right seat. And then you'll sweep the left arm up by the left ear. You could lift the pelvis or keep it down and then reach through your left wrist. Left wrist away from left kneecap. Good. One more breath. It's sort of a twist meets a side bend. Good. And then you'll retrace your steps. Lower the seat. Make your left arm longer and longer and longer as you come back to center. Plant your fingertips forward in front of your knees. Shift your hips up off your heels and tuck the toes under. See if you can lift both of your knees at the same time. You'll plant your hands and forward fold over the legs. Uttanasana at the back of the mat. Swing your right arm up, ragdoll your way all the way up to stand. A big twist, take a breath in, and exhale, arms by your sides. Inhale, sweep the arms up, opposite interlacing Venus lock. Exhaling up and over, side bend to the left. Bend your right knee, breathe directly to the right kidney. And exhale, spiral all the way down, forward fold. Lead with the left hand, try to stay on the fingertips coming to plank, and then you'll lower the palms down. Without shifting too much, right arm alongside the right body as you inhale. Heels swivel to the left as you exhale. Inhale, your right arm up and over. As you exhale, lower the right elbow in line with the left palm. Inhale, left arm alongside the left body. Exhale, swivel the heels right. Breathe in, float your left arm alongside the ear. Exhale, lower the left elbow in line with the right. Army crawl, the arms back just about 2 or 3 inches. And as you do so, pour the water out of the lungs as you lift the hips very high. Sweep your left leg up behind you, and now the string is tied from the big toe of the left foot to your right heel. Lift the left foot a little higher, right heel, right butt also lift. 2 more breaths. Push your elbows through the floor. As a result, maybe your hips lift a little higher. Keep the left leg lifted. Bend your right knee to hover. And then push the weight into your hands. 3-legged downward facing dog. Float the left leg a little higher as you inhale. And you'll exhale, step the foot to the left thumb. High lunge with both knees bent. Breathe in. And then pause, landing here. Good. Take 1 more breath in. On your exhale, spring off the ball of your right foot, hug your right knee in towards your chest. Come to tree pose, right foot on the left leg. When you're ready, you'll interlace the opposite crossing of the hands, Venus lock, reach your pointer fingers up. Maybe you feel the arm bones hugging a little closer around the skull. But draw the back of the skull, inflate the back of the skull wide. Can you tell that the back of the skull is stacked in line with the back of your sacrum? 1 more breath. Good. Keep your spine and arms long. Softly bend your left knee. Hinge at your hips as you reach forward in a flat back. And then you might float your fingertips either to touch the floor or to hover. Challenge yourself to keep them hovering. You'll pluck the right foot off of the left leg, slowly land with your right big toe first, find the mat, and then warrior 2, grounding the feet, float the arms to the sides. 3 breaths. Just about 1 more. Slowly straighten the left leg, breathe in, peaceful triangle. And then you'll breathe really well into your right kidney. It likes to be compressed in this shape. Okay, and then you'll continue this circle, reach further beyond the back edge of your mat, past your right foot. Sweep the left hand down like you're passing through Prasarita. And then walk the hands to the front of the mat, low lunge, tap the back knee down as you inhale, send the heart up. Exhale, send the hips up, straighten the legs and fold. 2 more like that, breathe in. Exhale. Inhale. And breathe out. Bend your left knee, inhale. Try not to shift too much as you step back to plank on your exhale. Hold here, breathe in. You'll lower the knees down as you exhale. Come back into child's pose. Sweep your arms behind you, then float your left wrist up like someone's pulling the left wrist, and you'll, like a ragdoll, roll up the rest of the way. And go up higher through your left wrist, make it longer as you reach your fingertips way behind you. Sweep the right arm up, either keep the pelvis down or float the hips off the heels. Reach your right wrist away from the right knee. And try to breathe, inflate the kidneys where you felt all the tapping at the start of class. One more breath to the kidney band. Okay, and then you'll slowly first lower the hips. Reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. And then you'll sort of windmill the arms forward, plant your fingertips on the mat. Lift your hips just enough to tuck your toes under. Shift your weight back, try to lift both of your knees at once. And then you'll straighten the legs, fold over the thighs. Sweep your left arm up, someone's tugging your left wrist up as you gradually segment the spine up to stand. And then a twist, take a breath in. Exhale, arms by your sides. Pick your right knee up in front of you, interlace the hands under the thigh. Straighten your right leg forward without collapsing in the chest. Try to drop the pubic bone. Breathe wide into the kidneys and then wing your arms out to the side. Take one more breath here, extend through all the limbs. As you exhale, step halfway down your mat. Keep your arms out to the side and tip forward, bowing the head as the left toes go up to the ceiling, standing split. Try to keep your arms reaching out to the sides and see that you can see them in your periphery so they're not winging too far back. Good, take one more breath. Try to bow the head a little more, then land your fingertips. And then you'll step the left foot down next to your right and just round your spine up, head heavy. Then we'll take the opposite side, interlace the hands under the left thigh. Extend the left leg without collapsing in the spine. Good. Keep the leg where it is in space and then float the arms out to the side. Extend through all of your limbs, including the limb of the spine, we'll call it. From your tail to the crown of the head, get longer. Okay, so you're going to step all the way to the front edge of your mat. Roll off the ball of the right toe. Keep the arms wide as you dive forward, passing through Warrior 3 into Standing Split. Reach your arms out wide, see the fingertips. Good, try to crawl your belly further down the left thigh. Can you relax the neck anymore? Good. When we're balancing like this, we want to hold in the neck. See if you can soften it. And then release your fingertips down, bow the head slightly more, right toes a little higher, and you'll step your right foot next to your left and round your way up again, sort of that ragdoll feeling, segmenting the spine. At the top, breathe in, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hinge, fold forward over the legs. Breathe in, stretch your chest forward. Exhale, hop or step back, chaturanga. It's our first one, so maybe you do it with knees down or not at all. Inhaling, any size back bend. And then pause here, another breath. Try to fill the kidney pockets with breath. When you exhale, either child's pose or downward facing dog. About 3 breaths. Another cue that I learned from Patricia that I've been loving is try drawing your sit bones toward your second toe mounds. And then at the same time, can you free your coccyx or your tailbone up and back? So both of those two actions happening in tandem. The next time you breathe in, prepare as you like. Exhale to either hop or step right, then left foot forward. And then a slow, calm breath in, long spine. Exhale, fold. Breathe in, sweep the arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, in mountain. Inhale, float the arms up. The kidneys go out and up as well. Exhale, Come up and over as you fold over the legs. Breathing in, stretch your chest forward. And you'll exhale, either hop or step left and then right. Any version of chaturanga, or maybe you just come to hands and knees. Breathe in, any back bend. Exhale, child's pose or down dog. One more breath here. At the bottom of your exhale, you'll either hop or step left and then right to the top. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold softly. Breathe in, wing the kidneys out and up as you lift the arms. Exhale, in mountain. About 2 more on your own. I'll be continuing the movement here if you want to follow along. You can really take any movement you like. Maybe you prefer resting or a pigeon. One more round. In about 8 breaths. Meet us at the front edge of the mat in any pose you'd like. About 3 more breaths. Wherever you are for these 3 breaths, on the inhale, kind of seek the space around you, the room around you. And on the exhale, seek your inner landscape, back to your center. Breathe in an expansion not only of the physical body, but of your awareness around you on all sides. And the exhale, drawing the awareness inwards to all the cells. One more, breathing in what's happening around you, above, below. And exhale, what's happening inside of you. As you breathe in, bend your knees and come to a low chair, lift the arms. You'll exhale, fold over the legs. Left leg back to a lunge as you breathe in. Reach your left arm back, both arms up to the sides as you breathe out to warrior 2. Inhale, peaceful warrior, fill your left kidney with breath. And on your exhale, come to a low lunge to the right foot, back knee down. Good, breathe in, sweep the arms up like Anjaneyasana, lift your left frontal hip point. And you'll exhale either half Hanuman or straighten through both of your legs. I'm showing half Hanuman if you don't know it. You'll breathe in, standing split. Spring off the left toes, bow the head. And exhale, step left foot next to right, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose, maybe you sit a little lower. Exhale, forward fold softly. Right leg back as you breathe in to lunge. Exhale, warrior two, but reach your right arm down and back to come up. Inhale, floating peaceful warrior. Exhale, come to a low lunge. Square the hips as you lower the back knee. Breathe in, Anjaneyasana. Really find a back bend here. And you'll exhale, sweep the hips back, either half Hanuman or both legs straight. Standing split as you breathe in. Exhale, step right foot next to left and fold. Okay, we'll do it once more each time together, and you'll do it by yourselves after this. Inhaling, chair. Exhale, forward fold. Left leg back to lunge, inhale. Keep the hips low as you exhale in warrior two. A soft inhale to the left low back, peaceful. Exhale, low lunge, deliberately squaring the hips as you lower the back knee. Anjaneyasana, big back bend. Lift the heart, lift the belly, inhale. Exhale, straighten both legs or half Hanuman. Standing split on your inhale, bow the head. Exhale, forward fold, step the left foot next to the right. Last time together, breathe in, chair. Exhale, forward fold. Right leg back, lunge on your inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Peaceful, breathing in. Low lunge as you breathe out. Tap your back knee down. Back bend, inhale, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, half Hanuman or straight in both legs. Standing split on your inhalation, right leg shoots up. Exhale, forward fold, right foot next to left. Once more each side on your own, or you pause in any shape you'd like to rest. The left leg is the first leg to go back. And we'll all meet at the front of the mat with a wrist stretch of your choice in the next 3 or so breaths. You could stand on the hands, you could circle the wrists around. Two more breaths wherever you are. And if you're in a forward fold, slowly begin to make your way up. So if you are using blocks and you like them for warrior three, you'll put them up on the highest height in front of your mat, shoulder width apart. Okay, and then we'll start off in tree pose with the left foot up against the right leg, any height. You'll interlace the hands with the Venus lock, pointer fingers extended. And then like your fingers are sort of arrows, shoot them directly straight up towards the ceiling. Even if it means bending your elbows a little bit, imagine it's sort of a growth of the crown of the head going upwards. Imagine the crown is magnetized to the heels of your hands and go up and up and up. And as you go up, your lungs go up. Your kidneys are wide. Good, and then you'll go up and over, side bending over your left leg. Good, can you make this side bend more spacious for your left kidney and waistline rather than a compression of it? Maybe you bend your right knee, turn your heart to the floor a little bit, and then take a big puffed inhale to your right kidney band and reach, reach, reach. Okay, slow motion. You'll continue that spiral until you're in a flat back, spine parallel to the floor, pointer fingers reaching out of the top of the head. Slowly extend your left leg back like it's in between Warrior 3 and Half Moon. So it's kind of externally rotated. It's going to be a Warrior 1 leg in a moment. Good. Take another breath like this. Get longer in your spine. And then land with the left big toe at the back of the mat. Find the rest of the foot. Warrior 1. Or you could make this a high lunge. And then go up with the sides of your waist. Imagine your legs are in Hanumanasana. Lower your right buttock back and down. And then back bend. You can change your arms to any variation. I have kind of been loving cactus arms lately. Wherever you are, pick up the back of your heart. Go up and back, up and back. Legs in Hanuman. Okay, slowly you'll straighten through your right leg. Parallel your feet. And come to a forward fold. Like Prasarita Padottanasana. Just 3 breaths here. You could sway your hips a little side to side, or you can stay nice and neutral. Okay, press your hands down into the floor underneath you. Narrow your stance a little bit, and then you'll lower your right knee down onto the mat. And then your left knee down. I'm just going to turn so that you can see me. You stay as you are. Okay, so if you need padding, you can always just fold your mat over or use your towel. I like to do this with my toes tucked under. Lift your arms up. Take the Venus lock once more. Bend your elbows to the ceiling. The hands will come behind you like our child's pose variation. Lift your elbows up, press your skull into the forearms, especially the lowest part of your hairline. Can you press that back towards your wrists? And then as you press down through the balls of the feet, go up and back, up and back, up and back, up and back. Good. Any variation with your arms. Take one more breath. Try to lift the kidneys as you breathe into them well. No compression there. Good. And then you'll reach your right arm up. Send it up a little higher and back until your right hand comes to your right heel. So again, you might be in a little twist. I'm going to try to mirror you. And a back bend. Push down through your right hand and go up with the left chest. Maybe you sweep the left arm alongside the left ear and you can kind of turn a little bit to your right. Good. Lift both of your frontal hip points. Take one more breath like this. Good. You'll push through your feet, push through your shins to come back upright. And then come to sit on your heels. I like to keep my toes tucked, but you can untuck them. Press the hands together at the chest and just take a breath right to your kidneys. And breathe out. Now take a breath right behind your heart center. And exhale. And finally, take a big breath wide into the back of the skull. Exhale. Okay, so you'll just turn to the front of your mat. If you want to take a vinyasa here, this would be your second to last time. Otherwise, come into downward facing dog. And then you'll eventually walk or hop your feet up to the top of the mat. Shake out the head a little bit. And then make your way up to stand, rounding or hinging through the spine, nice and slow. Okay, and then last round of standing poses, the right foot comes up to tree pose. Feel a connection between leg and foot as you interlace your hands, the opposite crossing, Venus lock the fingers. And then imagine that the pointer fingers floating up to the ceiling is mimicking what the crown of the head is. So as the fingertips go up, the crown of the head goes up and up and up. Your spine gets more extension on all sides. The front ribs soft in the body. And then go up higher and higher through the wrists, even if your elbows need to bend a little bit for the comfort of the shoulders. Draw the skull back in space, and then can you inflate the back skull, back heart, and back sacrum as though they were all pressing into the same wall behind you. Okay, go up a little bit higher, one more breath in, and then you'll side bend over your right leg on the exhale. Good. Keep reaching through your wrists. The skull stays between the window of the arms. Good, and then slightly bend your left knee. Turn the heart towards the floor a bit. Take a big breath into your left kidney. Reach the wrists away from you. Keep the leg variation and just send your chest forward now through a flat back. Hips hinging back, arms by the ears. Float the right foot off the left leg and reach your right leg behind you in between a warrior three and a half moon. So you're at about 50% of your lateral or external rotation. Good, take another breath. Can you reach your heart and wrists and skull further forward? And then landing in warrior one or high lunge, right foot at the back of the mat. Good. Take your arm variation and back bend. Again, imagining from the thighs to the knees that you're in Hanumanasana. Good. Try bending your left knee a little bit more. One more breath. Integrate the navel up towards the heart center as you back bend. Good. And you'll come upright in the chest. Simply straighten the left leg, parallel the feet. Any way you want to fold into your prasarita. Nice and soft in the head and neck and shoulders. One more breath here. Narrow your feet a bit, press through your hands, and then you'll lower your left knee, then your right knee down to the floor. Keep the toes tucked under if you wish, and you'll come up to stand on the shins. Venus lock, the opposite interlacing. Reach the pointer fingers up and go up. As you go up, imagine like you're picking up a small child, so their whole rib basket is coming up and off of their entire pelvis. Good, go up, and then maybe you bend the elbows, hands behind you, press the skull into the forearms, and go up and back. Reach your elbows away from your knees and vice versa. Inflate the kidneys, one more breath, no collapsing if you can help it. Okay, and then you'll release your left arm up towards the ceiling. Go up and back, up and back, up and back. The left hand comes onto the back of the left heel. Maybe you sweep your right arm up so you're in a little bit of a twist. I'm going to mirror you again. You're in a little bit of a twist and a back bend. Press your left hand down into the foot to rebound the energy up to the ceiling. Then maybe your right arm sweeps alongside your right ear. Try to keep the eye of the belly looking straight forward, but the eye of the heart turns to your left. Good. Inflate the kidneys, especially your left kidney. Breathe in. Good. And then to come out of it, someone is energetically pulling your right wrist up to the ceiling as you turn back forward. And then you'll rest, seat on the heels. Bring the palms together. Take a breath into the kidneys, inflate them. Exhale, pause. Breathe in behind the heart center. Breathe out. Breathe widely across the back of the skull. And exhale. Turn to walk your hands towards the front edge of the mat. Take a final vinyasa, or you'll come onto hands and knees, which is where we will all meet. Okay, so from your hands and knees, no rush if you're in your vinyasa. You'll come into downward facing dog, but then step the left foot off to the left side of your mat, and then the right foot off to the right side of your mat. Grab your mat between your hands and then slide it over to a wall. If you don't have any wall space, you can stay in the center of the room and still do what we're doing. You'll just imagine that your foot is on the wall. Okay, so you'll come to hands and knees. Have the balls of your feet at the wall so that you're in the quadruped position. So it'll be really short down dog when you lift your hips up. So it's nice and short. It's going to feel maybe a little claustrophobic for a moment. Take the ball of your right foot up onto the wall like you're doing a three-legged dog. Push the ball of your right foot into the wall and try to elevate your left buttock. Push through your hands. And now imagine you're in Hanuman. So you might untuck the toes so the top of the foot is on the wall. And slide your right toes further up the wall. Press the right foot into the wall. And take a couple of breaths here. Can you keep steering your left buttock up towards the ceiling? Even though the legs are spreading apart, energetically scissor your thighs towards one another. Good, take one more breath. Okay, and then you'll slowly lower the right foot down, lower your knees down, and then come to sit up on the heels and lean back against the wall. Feel the back of the heart, back of the skull, maybe the back of your sacrum, probably not most of us. Take a couple breaths. You might shake out your wrists or roll them around a little bit. Okay, and then we'll do the second side. Walk your hands forward. Come to a short downward facing dog. And then you'll bring the left foot up onto the wall. So again, if you're in the center of the room, you're basically just in a three-legged down dog. Push the ball of the left foot into the wall. Try to lift your right buttock up. Good. Staying here, or point the left foot so that the top of the left foot can press well into the wall. And then channel your Hanuman. You might slide the left foot up a little higher, but keep scissoring the thighs together energetically. Three or so more breaths. Push the wall away with the top of the left foot. And one more. And you'll lower the right foot down, the left foot down, lower the knees, and then same little counter pose. You might scooch a little closer to the wall. And then lean into the support of the wall. Enjoy it about 3 breaths. Okay, so flutter your eyes open. So some of you, for our inversion, will do forearm stand. So we've opened up quite well for that. Either forearm stand if you want the inversion, or you could stay in a 3-legged dolphin, so you'll turn towards the wall. Or you can do legs up the wall, and that will be sort of your first honey shape. Okay? So I'm going to give you about 3 minutes. Those of you who are doing forearm stand, if you only want to do it for a minute or so, then just join us in legs up the wall. If you are taking legs up the wall, you might put one of the pillows underneath the back of the skull. If you have a sandbag or anything weighted and you can get it up on top of your feet, do use that. Those of you who are taking forearm stand, when you set up your arms, come into dolphin and practice the standing split. Like you might imagine that you're sort of channeling what we just did at the wall. And remember that string that we did at the beginning, tied from the big toe of your lifted leg to the heel of the lowered leg. And when you do hop up, try to do so with the least amount of momentum. And then soften the front ribs in the body, trying to inflate your kidneys with breath. So this is another place where we love to collapse in the low back. Breathe into the kidneys really well, especially when you're inverted. So about half of your time is up. Make sure you've tried lifting up with both legs. And you have about 1 more minute. Those of you who are lying on the back with the legs up the wall without judgment or over analyzing it, can you tell which kidney is sort of closer to the earth? So most of us, I would say all of us, are asymmetrical. Especially in the lumbar curve from left to right, can you tell if the left or the right is more compressed down into the floor than the other side? That just might mean you have more muscular buildup on the left lumbar. And then whichever side feels a little more hollow, can you fill that deliberately with breath? Let's take about 4 or 5 more breaths here. Try with each inhale again to sort of seek outwards, curiosity, what's happening around. With each exhale to draw maybe a little deeper within. About 1 more breath. Okay, and then you'll slowly slide your feet down the wall if you're at the wall. If you're in child's pose anywhere, you just kind of stay where you are. We'll join you in a moment. Those of you on your back, just gently grab your knees and draw the thighs towards you like you're in an upside down child's pose. And let your ankles and toes relax. Okay, and then you'll choose either right or left side as you come into the fetal position. You might need to scooch a little bit away from the wall. Draw your elbows towards your knees and your head towards your tailbone. So you have this nice rounding of the spine without pulling or bracing and flexion. 1 more breath here along the back sheath of the trunk. And then you'll roll your way up to sit gradually. Okay, and then either grabbing a pillow or a block, something for your head to rest on. You'll place it near the front edge of your mat. And then you'll come onto your forearms. So bring your left forearm to the middle of your mat. Cross your right elbow behind it. And then you'll reach your fingertips out wide, crawl your wrists wide. And then use the pillow for your forehead. And then I like to do this with my palms flipped up. And just kind of snuggle around until you feel comfortable. You'll need to negotiate around your chest. And maybe your chin can hook around the left upper arm bone. So each time you breathe in for the first 5 or so breaths, can you crawl your wrists a little further apart? Send the breath puffed wide between your shoulder blades. And then each time you exhale, you just kind of sink and yield down through the floor. And so something that I just read about the lungs is that if you were to sort of smooth them out and spread them out, they would take up the same surface area as a tennis court. So all of that surface area is sort of bundled up and fits nice and neatly in the basket of the ribs. Take just one more breath like this. Okay, listen, lift your head up and then unthread your left arm and bring it up alongside your left ear. You're probably going to want to take this pillow with you. Reach out through the fingertips and then bend your left knee out to the side so it's right outside of your left hip. Just take a couple of breaths here and try to send the tip of your tail towards your right heel. And make your inner left leg longer as you scooch the left knee a little further away. Good, just one more breath. And then crawl your fingertips, your left fingertips around overhead until you roll over into a twist. Your left knee will stay bent. You could keep the pillow underneath your head. If you have another block or another pillow to use, it would go underneath your left knee. And then right hand on the outer left leg, or maybe you want to straighten the leg and the hand comes more into the lower leg. Settling in here. So when I learned that information about how much surface area we actually have in the lungs, it did kind of create a different breath inside of me, at least temporarily. Just imagining so much potential, so many cells in there that we can touch with breath, that it made my breath feel a little more robust. Another thing that I learned was that if you were to put all of the air passages inside of the lungs and draw them out into one continuous line, that it would go all the way from coast to coast, from basically New York to California. So again, just thinking of all of that potential for your fresh breath to come into. Can you touch all of the different parts of the lungs with each inhalation, taking your time? And then at the same time, the exhale is just as important. Giving sort of an emptying or release for a very, very full exhale so that there is room and space for a new fresh breath to come in. So one more breath here, both lungs very full, wide, expansive, exhaling softly. Okay, you're going to be off your mat for sure, mostly. as you roll over onto your left hip, and then just extend your left leg out to the left. So you can look up at me if you're confused, but I'm kind of in the shape of an X. Okay, and then this won't be long. You'll keep your left leg out to the left. Pick up your right leg and cross your right ankle on top of your left ankle. You could do just the legs, or you could reach your right arm overhead, grab onto your right wrist with your left hand, and now you're kind of side bending over to the left in a really gentle banana shape. So very different from the side bending we did standing. This is passive and soft if that's feeling okay in your body. If you want to make it a little more active, do so. Just 2 more breaths. Try to breathe all the way down to the lowest pocket of the right belly into the pelvis. And all the way up to the lung tissues that go all the way up behind your right collarbone. Okay, and then you'll uncross the right leg, let go of the right wrist. And you'll just roll over onto your right side so you'll be back on your mat. And you'll come up onto the forearms, set up your pillow as you like it. This time bring the right forearm to the center of your mat. Thread your left elbow behind your right. And then just make sure the pillow or the block is ready for you. You'll sort of crawl the fingertips out wider and wider and wider apart. Rest the forehead. And again, either palms flip up or down. And then negotiate, find the most comfortable place for you. With each inhale, because the breath is entering the lung tissue, which goes all the way up by the collarbones, it sort of forces the shoulder blades to widen, and then maybe even the arms, the wrists go further apart. And as you exhale, try to soften more, especially the tongue and the jaw. 4 or so more breaths like that. Because there's so much surface area in the lungs, it also was a reminder to me of how heavy they are. They have a weight to them. Allow the weight of the lungs to settle down to the floor, down with gravity. Soften the jaw, take 1 more breath like this. And then you'll lift the head up just to create enough space to bring your right arm up alongside your right ear and draw your right knee out to the right. This isn't a long hold. Wag the tip of your tail toward your left heel. Slide your right knee out to the side a little further at the same time. One more breath. And then keep crawling your right fingertips further overhead, and they'll trace a little kind of quarter circle overhead as you roll onto the back. And then maybe you gather your pillow under the head and another pillow under the right knee or a block. And just pausing in the same variation you took on the first side. See if you can be okay with being partially on, partially off your mat instead of wriggling around. And just kind of noticing the new orientation of the body. How does it feel different to have the front body open up towards the ceiling versus having it turn down towards the floor just a moment ago? One more breath like this in the twist. And then you'll roll onto the back of the pelvis. Come into the X shape. Again, you're going to be off of your mat. And then you'll cross your left ankle over on top of your right, kind of hooking the feet together. And then you'll grab onto your left wrist if you'd like. And now you're in a little bit of a side bend. Nice and released and soft through the body. Quiet your eyebrows and your jaw. You have just 3 more breaths. Allow the weight of your lungs to sink down to the floor. The weight of the heart, the weight of the brain. In the next breath or so, you'll roll over on the left side, and then you could take either a belly shavasana or you could lie down on your back. If you want to take a pillow or a rolled up towel and you know how to set up a belly roll, you would put it kind of between your pubic bone and your navel. Otherwise, shavasana on the back. Release the back of the tongue. Even the eye sockets, imagine they could soften. take a deep breath right into the kidney band and exhale softly. And then a full breath behind the heart, sort of pushing the floor away. Exhale. And finally, behind the skull, breathing in. And breathe out. And then we'll roll to the fetal position on either side, but I'd like you to imagine that your elbows are magnetized to your knees. And that's what initiates the movement as you roll over onto either side. Elbows to knees. Pause there a couple of breaths. And then you'll gradually make your way up to a seated position. And then find your seat and bring the palms together at the center of the chest. And just noticing this new orientation of the body now going from a supine position all the way upright. And we'll finish here with one Om. Take a breath in. Thank you so much, everyone.